Hey, third graders, this is Mrs. Oyster again, and today we're going to do even more work with area and perimeter of rectangles. So we're going to practice again, reviewing what area is and what perimeter is. How do you find area and how do you find perimeter? And then finding the area and the perimeter of different rectangles. So you need a couple things for this lesson. You need something to write with, you need some scratch paper, and you also need your math packet. So if you don't have those things, pause and go grab them because I would like you to do some of this with me. Otherwise, we can go ahead and get going. So let's review area and perimeter. Yes, this slide might look familiar. We did the same one yesterday. We like to see things lots of different times so we can make sure and learn it well. So what is area? Area is the total amount of space covered by a shape. It's the number of square units inside a shape. So if you look at this rectangle here, you will see that the part that's highlighted is the area. It's how much space is covered. We find the area by multiplying the length times the width of a rectangle. So this rectangle is 5 feet long and 3 feet wide. So the length is 5, the width is 3. We would find the area by multiplying those. 5 times 3 is 15. So the area would be 15 square feet. Okay, now how about perimeter? The perimeter is different. It's the total distance around the shape. See these highlighted lines? You can trace it on your computer if it works. Hopefully it won't mess up your your video. The perimeter is the distance around something, okay? So we find the perimeter by adding up all the side lengths, and that's the total distance around the outside of a shape. So down here it says side length plus side length plus side length plus side length equals the total distance around, which is the perimeter. So in this case, it would be 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. And if you add those numbers all together, you will get 16. So the perimeter of this is 16 feet. Okay, let's look at a different rectangle this time. I'm going to go ahead and move back. So this rectangle is 5 inches long and 4 inches wide. Same rectangles, but on this one we are finding the area, which is this middle highlighted part. And over here we're going to find the perimeter, which is a different measurement, the length around the outside. Okay, so what equation would we use? Well, we do length times width, and that's going to equal the area. The length is 5 and the width is 4. So we would do 5 times 4. And what is 5 times 4? It's 20. So the area is 20 square inches. Now on this one, over here on the perimeter side, over here, we're going to add the side lengths because perimeter is the is when you add all the side lengths together and get the total distance. So for this equation, you would do 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4. Now, heads up, remember with addition, you can add numbers in any order and you will still get the same answer. So if you did 5 plus 4 plus 4, that's still right. You'll still get the same answer. You can add them up in any order, whatever's easier for you, as long as you add all the sides together. So in this case, they did 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4, and that equals 18 inches. So the perimeter of this same rectangle is 18 inches. Notice, when we find the area, our answer is always going to be square units, square inches, square miles, square yards. When we find the perimeter, our label is just the unit because it's a length, it's a distance. All right, so here's where you're going to need your scratch paper. What I'm going to have you do for each of these is you're going to draw the shape and label it. You're going to write an equation to help you find the area and an equation to help you find the perimeter, and then you're actually going to find the area and the perimeter. I'll do this one with you. So go ahead on your scratch paper, blank piece of paper, anything you can find. I want you to draw a square and I want you to label 4 centimeters long and 4 centimeters wide, just like you see here. So let's start with area, okay? A means area. How would I find the area of this rectangle? Well, I'm going to multiply the length times the width. So 4 times 4, I'm going to say n because that's the area. Or, I'm going to make it even more clear. 4 times 4 is going to give me the area. Okay, well, what is 4 times 4? It's 16. Okay, that's the easy part. What are our units? Remember, for area, your unit is always square something. So I know it's going to be square something. So I'm going to look up here at my picture. Oh, centimeters. So it is 16 square centimeters. Nice job. Let me bring this up a little bit. All right, now let's go to perimeter. How am I going to find the perimeter? Remember, perimeter, I add up all the side lengths. So it's going to be 4 plus 4. But is that enough? No, I have to remember that these are also 4 because this is a square. So it's 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and that's going to equal the perimeter. Well, what is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4? Also 16. And what units would I do here? Just centimeters. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm sorry it's not labeled better. I just noticed that it's not labeled real well. Just note, A means area, P means perimeter. All right. So here's your task. You have 3 rectangles here. One of them we just did, so that one should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. This one up here is 8 feet by 2 feet. This one is 12 feet by 2 feet. Sorry, 12 inches. Mrs. Oyster, you need to pay attention. 12 inches by 2 inches. And for each of these, I want you to write the equation and then the area and then the equation and then the perimeter. So the equation is to find the area, obviously, and to find the perimeter. And then I want you to write the actual area and perimeter with units. So go ahead and pause here, figure out all 3 of these, then unpause and we'll go through them together. Okay, ready to check? Here we go. Let's start with the one that is 8 feet by 2 feet. For area, I'm going to multiply the length times the width to give me the area. 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. So this is 16 square feet. And notice I abbreviated square, SQ period. You can do that if you'd like. Okay, how about perimeter? Well, it's going to be 8 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2. Going to equal the perimeter. Well, what is 8 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2? It's 20. So this would be 20 feet. Did you get that one? Nice job if you did. Okay, so now let's take a look at this one. This is the one we did on the other page. So the equation for area is 4 times 4 equals the area. And the area, of course, is 16 square centimeters. And the equation for the perimeter, kind of the same thing, isn't it? 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals the perimeter. And so the perimeter equals 16 centimeters. All right, nice work. I'm going to move this up if I can. Will it let me? Yep, there we go. Okay, last one. I'm going to scoot this over because I'm noticing that when I start typing in it, it's... okay, we'll just see what happens. All right. So for the area, for this long, skinny rectangle, I'm going to multiply the length times the width. The length is 12, and the width is 2. So 12 times 2 is going to give me the area. What is 12 times 2? It's 24. So the area is 24 square inches. Do I know it's inches? It's labeled right here. All right, how about perimeter? We're going to add 12 plus 2 plus 12 plus 2, and that's going to equal the perimeter. What is 12 plus 2 plus 12 plus 2? 28, if I did it correctly, and it would be 28 inches. All right, nice job. So let's now take this area and perimeter stuff and let's apply it to some stories. We did this a little bit in the last one too, so I will go through it quickly. These are some words that will be signal words or keywords that will tell you it's a perimeter story problem. Okay, words like around, fencing, frame, trim, border, outside, distance around, edge, and then here's some units you might use. Okay. Now, if it's an area story, then you might have some different keywords, words like long and wide, because in order to find the area, you have to know these so that you can multiply them. The word area, obviously, cover, square units, inside, total area, surface space, and you might have the same units, but your answer is always going to have what word in front of them? Square. So square centimeters, square meters, and so on. So for perimeter, remember perimeter is measured in units. Perimeter is determining the total length around an object. So the units might be units, inches, centimeters, feet, yards, miles. Remember, area is measured in square units. Area is determining how much space is covered. So the examples for area for your units are square units, square inches, square centimeters, square feet, square yards, or square miles. So let's sort some stories together or some situations. Uh-oh. Okay, good, it worked. Up here are some things that maybe I'm trying to figure out, and we need to decide if we're trying to find the area or if we're trying to find the perimeter, okay? So if I want to know the yards of fencing I need around a yard, is that area or perimeter? Keyword, around. If I'm trying to find the distance around something, that is perimeter, so that goes down here. If I'm trying to find the square feet of carpet to cover a living room, that is area because I'm trying to figure out how much space is covered. Also, this word square, big hint. How about this one? Total square inches of the top of a desk. That word square tells you it's area, so we're going to put that down here. Length in inches of a ribbon border around a blanket. Two key words, border and around. That's going to be perimeter. The surface area of a sport court. They tell you right there, don't they? Area. Square feet of carpet to cover a living room. We've got some keywords, square feet, cover, that's also area. 1 foot bricks surrounding the outside edge of a garden. Outside, edge, surrounding, all those tell us that that's a perimeter story. And the distance around the outside of a pool, around, outside, also perimeter. Did you notice some patterns in the words you were hearing? I hope you did. Okay, so let's do some problems together. I'm going to have you open your packet to page 10, and we're going to do the first two on this page together, and then we'll do two of the challenge problems together after that. Okay, so if you need a minute to grab that, go ahead and pause, go find it, and then restart the video. So let's start with number 1. This looks different than the way it looks on your packet, but it's the same story. It says, Mrs. Hutchins is building a very small jewelry box. She knows that the jewelry box will need to be 12 centimeters wide and 5 centimeters long. What will the area and perimeter of her jewelry box be? Okay, so when you have a story like this, what you need to do is draw a picture. You guys are lucky because on these problems today, you have a picture given to you, but you may need to label them. This one's already labeled for you. Not all of them will be labeled for you. So let's take a look at it. I'm going to grab my pen real quick. Let's use red. I have a rectangle, and it says it's 12 centimeters wide, so I'm going to put a 12 down here. And it says it's 5 centimeters long, so I'm going to put a 5 over here. And I better label it too, huh? Centimeters, centimeters. All right. So let's start with the area, okay? Here's where I'm going to put my equations. So for area, I'm going to multiply length times width. So I'm going to do 12 times 5, okay? And I'll just do a blank. For perimeter, what am I going to do? I'm going to add the sides, and this time I'm going to go 12 plus 12 because those are the two long sides, plus 5 plus 5. I'm going to do it that way. I think it might be a little easier for me to figure out. Okay, so now let's solve it. The area is 12 times 5. What is 12 times 5? That's a fact we haven't really done very much, is it? So think of 10 times 5. 10 times 5 is 50. Then 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. If we add those together, it's 60. And our units will be, since this is area, square centimeters. How about the perimeter? If I didn't know these answers, I would just write it down on paper. Okay, it's better to do it on paper and get it right than to try and guess and get it wrong. But here I'm going to kind of lump some numbers together. 12 plus 12 I know is 24. 5 plus 5 I know is 10. So 24 plus 10 is going to be 34. So I know this will be 34 centimeters. All right, go ahead and write that down on your paper. And let's do the next one together. Okay, here's our next story. Mrs. Logan is building a doghouse for Wrigley. She knows that the doghouse will need to be 9 meters wide and 3 meters long. What will the area and perimeter be of Wrigley's doghouse? Again, I have a rectangle here. Yours is already labeled, but mine is not, so I'm going to go ahead and label it. So I know that it is 9 meters wide and it is 3 meters long. Okay, all right. So now I need to do my equations. How do I find the area? I multiply length times width. So I'm going to do 9 times 3, and that's going to give me the area. A perimeter. For perimeter, you add up all the side lengths. Now I know if this is 9, this is 9. I know if this is 3, this is 3, because it's a rectangle. So I'm going to do 9 plus 9 plus 3 plus 3. That will give me the perimeter. All right, let's figure out our answers. What is 9 times 3? 9 times 3 is 27. So it's going to be 27 square meters. About perimeter, 9 plus 9 plus 3 plus 3. Well, I know 9 plus 9 is 18. I know 3 plus 3 is 6. So I'm going to do 18 plus 6. And that would be 24. So it's 24 meters. That's the perimeter of the same rectangle. Good work, class. Okay. So the other ones in your packet, numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6, are the same type of stories, but you are going to do them on your own. Now, this time they give you pictures, like actual pictures of like a garden or a swimming pool or a book. If I were you, if I was doing this, I would redraw each thing as a rectangle. I would label it. Let me go back a second. I would label it like I did here, and then use your actual picture to figure out the answers. Okay? All right, let's skip ahead because on page 11, it gives you some challenge questions. There's 5 of them. It's page 11 and then the back of page 11. And let's look at those. It says solve the area perimeter equations. Pay close attention to what your label would be. So remember, area equals length times width, and perimeter equals side length, plus, and I put dot, 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 but it means like side length plus side length, however many side lengths there are. So this problem says 18 square feet divided by 9 feet wide equals blank. Well, let's think about what each of these represents. This says square feet, so I know that this is the area. This says 9 feet wide, so I know that this is the width. Now remember what we know about area? Area equals length times width. So the area divided by the width is going to give us what? The length. It's like a fact family, but a fact family with words, right? So if I take my area and I divide it by the width, that's going to give me the length. Well, what is 18 divided by 9? It's 2. So if I have a rectangle with an area of 18 square feet that is 9 feet wide, then I know it's going to be 2 feet long because 9 times 2 is 18. So I know that's different than the way we've been doing it, but it's just another way to think about it. It's figuring out a different unknown. Let's look at now I'm skipping ahead. Challenge number 2 is just like the one we just did, so I skipped that one. This is challenge problem number 3. So we're going to solve the same thing. Remember, area is length times width. Remember, perimeter is the side lengths all added together. Okay, so we have 7 centimeters and 8 centimeters. 7 times 8 equals something. Ooh, this times right here tells me that this is going to be an area problem. Since neither of these units, centimeters or centimeters, since neither one has a square in front of it, I know these are not the area. I know these are the side lengths. So this is the width, and this is the length. Could this be the length and this be the width? Yep, it doesn't matter. The width times the length is going to equal the area. Well, what is 7 times 8? 7 times 8 is 56. So 7 centimeters times 8 centimeters is going to equal 56 square centimeters. How did I know to put square there? Because when you multiply the width times the length, you get the area. Area always is measured in square units. All right, class. This is challenging, but I know you can do it. What I want you to do is complete the assignments that your teachers give you. The stories that we just did are required. And then the challenge ones, some teachers might require you to do them, some might not. So just listen for your instructions and complete those problems. All right, class, next time we are going to work even more on area and perimeter, and we're going to add a little element of challenge. Instead of me telling you if you're finding the area or perimeter, you have to decide before you solve it. All right, class, awesome job. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating, and I will see you next time.